This episode of the podcast is powered by the Celina Moose Lodge, 1473 here in Celina, and we want to take a moment before this podcast to honor the $1,473 in donations made from the Celina Moose during Jim Monroe Day this past week, supporting a lot of fantastic local organizations like Call Food Pantry, the Cancer Association of Mercer County, Grand Lake Rec Club, Lake Improvement Association, Mercer County Special Olympics, and the Cleveland Browns Foundation. Now that's the kind of legacy Jim Monroe would have wanted, one that gives back and brings people together. And don't forget, there's a lot going on at the Moose this week. On June 12th, Toby Leach takes the stage from 7 to 10 p.m. On June 13th, 100 Proof takes the stage at the same time, 7 to 10 p.m. On June 14th, it's Howie Boniface from 2 to 5 p.m. And Karma takes the stage 7 to 11 p.m. And then on June 15th, it's Copper River rocking from 4 to 8 p.m. So if you want to be a part of something different, something special, and something unique, you already know. Join the Celina Moose Lodge today. Hello, and welcome to the Do That Podcast, episode number 17, baby. Are you making fun of me over here?
A little bit.
Slick Willie to my left already. I appreciate that you're in a good mood because I'm in a great mood, too. We have an amazing story today. But you just got back from Las Vegas.
Hey, how are you?
Okay, yeah, that's good to see you. You know, take over, buddy.
I saw you wearing the shirt yesterday at the Moose yesterday, so I was proud of you. Any questions about it?
No. Only question we got was, where is Billy Vegas? Where is Bill, and why is he not in a truck? And I said, and they didn't take kindly when I said he's in Las Vegas right now. Everyone always hits me with that second part where they're like, oh, so he's not working? That sounds like Rich. Basically, Rich is asking.
Yeah.
No,
it is what it is.
How was Vegas?
No, yeah, I had started the new job this week. Like I said, we talked about it.
Oh, yeah.
So,
you got a new job?
Third day on the job, we had an acquisition.com seminar. One of the two partners couldn't make it. So
on a scale of 1 to 10, how boring was that?
It was actually awesome. It was they broke it into very small groups. You had about 6 to 8 people, all different walks of life. And then it was all on how to grow, scale your business, what your bottlenecks are, how you're going to get out of them, and kind of how you can improve. So the operations side of me loved it. It was a 10-hour day, though, just at that seminar. So it was long.
Any gambling?
No gambling.
You went to Vegas and didn't even, nothing in the slot?
No.
You sound like a psychopath right now.
Know.
Where are the bodies, Bill?
1:30 in the morning alarm clock on Wednesday, and got back up at 5 a.m. today. Flew there yesterday, flew back home just to get here for the podcast. So
thank you so much for that. You sound like a media mogul
I told my bosses, I said, if I'm not back for the podcast, I can't fly out. So they said,
don't come home, baby.
Let me change the flight information. So it was great. No time to gamble. Had a really great dinner. They had a light show out there at one of the, we stayed at the Wynn, at the Encore.
That's a good one. Wynn's a nice hotel.
It was incredible. So they had a cool light show on the back for the pond shoots up water, does all the light
Bellagio,
show.
that's the word you're looking for.
No.
Oh, the Wynn's
The
pond?
Wynn has their own in the back. Like they have their dinner. And actually at dinner, we saw Joe Torre, the Yankees old manager.
Okay, bro. Now you really sounded like some kind of media mogul. Did you have dinner with you, invite you over? Oh, you Bill from the Two Dads podcast?
I said, hey, Joe, how are you? No, he looked rough, man. Like he looked like he was 18 bourbons deep and was ready to go to sleep.
You want to know about my day? You're coming back from Vegas. I feel like I was in Vegas all weekend, how I felt. I puked 3 times this morning. I was so drunk.
For clarification, we're recording this on Thursday.
It was a Wednesday night.
We're recording it on Thursday this week because we had events Tuesday and Wednesday that we'll get into. So Mitch was drinking on a Wednesday, which I'm super proud of. Not to cut you off, but continue.
Thank you so much. But yeah, we've got some really cool stories upcoming. Basically, long story short, we gave away a lot of free food at the Jim Monroe Memorial. What do you want to call it? Like memorial event?
Celebration of life.
Celebration of life.
It was his birthday, wasn't it?
It was his birthday as well as a celebration of him. We had some big news on that one that I'm going to keep teasing. So if you want to keep listening, here's our retention tool. Well done. But I got more drunk than I cared to, and I was talking to our Sophia, our guest, before this, and it was definitely the liquor. A lot of Miller Lights. They just, the Moose always takes care of us, baby.
Yeah.
We have me, Rob, Berkey, and Rich out there on the truck, and they just kept fueling us with beers and everything. And then we have some really cool stuff to talk about, and then I drank more, and then afterwards, obviously, we're local heroes giving away some free food like I teased. And it was, I puked 3 times and I pushed a meeting back from 11 to 1. And I got a smoothie and we're here, baby.
Which brings me to my next point. Don't smoke crack.
Okay. Yeah. I actually haven't slept. I ran to Vegas and back.
No, you and Rob, Miller Lite boys. That's not good for my numbers.
Packers boys and Miller Lite boys, baby.
Not a big Miller Lite guy, big Busch Light guy. So, no, glad to see that you're recovered. You got your energy. It's the first podcast he hasn't had alcohol at, though. That's funny. He's over there.
I'm trying out your Diet Coke. I have a Diet Coke. If you're watching on YouTube at Two Dads Pod, I've actually got a Diet Coke. No sugar, no calories. You got to love that.
There's aspartame, though, so...
It's cancer causing. It'll be fine.
No sugar, though, so we're good there. So, no, really good weekend. I know it's a little different. We're out of our cadence a little bit, but like you said, a fun guest today. A little bit different energy to the room. Riker had his first baseball tournament this past weekend, though.
Good or bad? How was it? I mean,
it was,
scale of 1 to just absolute dog crap players. What was it like?
So it's 7U baseball, right? It's their first tournament travel, first time playing organized baseball. So there's 3 Coldwater teams. We won our first game, beat St. Mary's 17-16.
I love these scores, these football scores.
16 errors, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's put the ball in play, and then it's really hard for a shortstop or a third baseman to throw it to the first baseman and him catch it. So we went 1-2. We lost. It was pool play. We lost the second game, and then we lost our third place game to another Coldwater team. So we got 4th out of 6th. But dude, it was so fun. I somehow.
What was it fun about? Because I sat in a meeting the other day where somebody was having this very same conversation with me, and they were like, "I don't know when I can go back." Because if it was a grandparent talk, he's like, "I think as a dad, you're a little closer to the son, you little Icarus." You know what I'm saying? But I guess my question is, was it fun because you're proud of your child, or is it fun because it's the growth process? What was fun to you?
I think if I brought you to a tournament, you would hate it.
I'd be miserable.
I think you wouldn't enjoy it just because the skill level just isn't there and it's not great to view. But I'm one of the coaches, so being out there, I got thrown into the role of I'm the defensive coach and the offensive coach. So there's other coaches doing the book and pitching and all that stuff.
Sure.
So I'm out behind shortstop and I'm just directing the kids no, you're playing shortstop. You're on the wrong side of the bag. You need to go here. Outfielders need to move here. So. Just from the first game to the third game, just to see the kids progress in that short amount of time was a lot of fun. And then the same thing, I'm at third base, and a kid gets a hit and it's in right field and they're not coming from second to third. I'm like, you gotta pay attention. You gotta look for coach here. So at the end, by the third game, they were really starting to pick me up round and second, seeing it. So I had a lot of fun just coaching it. I haven't coached baseball in 5 or 6 years. So, it was a lot of fun, but I do get the other side of it. It is 7U baseball, and it's a little tough to watch if you're probably not as involved as I was. Felt like I was. I think
everybody listening is like, "Yeah, that sounds like crap, Bill." And it sounds like, I'm not trying to be too technical here. It sounds like all 16 of those errors falls on head coach Bill at shortstop. No,
I'm assistant coach. It's me and Kevin Ike and a couple other ones on
Kevin
there.
Just got thrown under the bus there. Yeah, so sorry. That's the way we describe your generosity and time taking care of these children and see them elevate with these 16 error combo. But I think Ellie De La Cruz probably has about that many yesterday too.
Yeah, so if we just watch Ellie, a lot of strikeouts, a lot of errors, I think he could play on our 7U team. I really do.
I've given up on the Reds. I'm done with them.
We're not even going to talk about them.
Yeah, maybe they'll do better. It can't get worse right now.
Yeah, so I was in Vegas for the last few days. We had 2 events. You, Rich, Rob, Berkey killed it. How was MVP Dairy?
MVP Dairy. Let's start with Joyfest. Can I go to Joyfest first?
It was right before. Sorry. Yep, Saturday.
Joyfest. It was really nice. It was just it was
a joy.
I'm going to share the most honest story that I can. Okay. Everybody asked me if it was a gay pride festival. I had no idea what it was. I genuinely didn't know. And then I got there and it was like a church thing.
Okay.
So it was like a complete polar opposite of, you know what I mean? I was like, I don't know, but we serve chicken to everybody. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, let's go out there. Very good event. I think it's their first year, so it's going to be bigger. But for what showed up, I say this with a full heart of empathy for everybody else out there. We smoked everybody. I mean, there was a pizza truck and there was an ice cream truck. Ice cream truck actually cleaned up at the end.
Oh yeah. You eat first, you dessert second.
Correct. And then but the chicken, something about church and chicken, I don't know. But
Church is chicken.
There you go. They showed up and drove. So Joyfest really good. MVP Dairy, that was nuts. It was really cool. It was a really cool concept just to do our first collaboration.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They had temporary tattoos out there. They had bins of corn, sandboxes, and then they got some, I think, cottonseed and stuff like that the kids could play in.
Did Allie find the 110 outlet?
She did find it. Just Allie, for those that are wondering, Allie, she put it all together. Allie Cup, you saw her on episode 8, I believe.
I think it was 8.
Yeah, I've got this memorized in the back of my head now. I've done it so long. I just look at the Spotify creator list, refresh. But she put on an amazing event. They collaborated with us. You might have seen some skits on Instagram. We did a couple there. it was really nice. And my dad came out. Look, if you guys don't know, I come from the lineage, the empire, the bull semen specialist empire from Coba Select Sires that my dad was at for 42 years, my grandpa for 46, my uncle for 40 plus, I don't know.
Mitch for 0.
40 plus, yeah. And then I was like, I don't want to do that. I absolutely do not want to put my hand up a cow's butt. There's no shot. I'm not doing it.
I'm not judging you for not doing it. It's just
I told you,
kill a family legacy. It's your option, not mine.
We'll ask Sophia about family legacy.
There you go.
You know what? She didn't quit on her family, but look at me. MVP was really cool. So really happy about that. I'd love to do more collaborations with MVP Dairy. We missed you out there. But the big one that I've been teasing all along was yesterday, which would have been Wednesday, Jim Monroe Day at the Moose.
Yep.
Dude, we got in there. All right.
First off, we had no idea how well this was going to go.
I had no idea how well any of these
when
this
we
week
were
would
talking,
go.
I mean, MVP Dairy had a controlled, they had a rough body count.
They could show us tickets.
Yeah, they could show us tickets, but that didn't mean there wasn't going to be more people to cover the chicken. So when we're predicting, and I've had a couple people message me, you sell out all the time, this and this. I said, man, it's chicken. You can't just hold endless amounts of chicken.
Right.
So it's all a guessing game to a degree. Now we have data from last year a little bit for recurring events, but MVP Dairy was the first time, Joy Fest was the first time, Jim Monroe Day was the first day. So it's a little unique. But yeah, I was excited to kind of see. I kind of lost train of thought there, but
I saw it in your face.
I was like, man, where was
I? We can clip that.
Where was I going?
I was like,
with
I don't
this?
know. What do you? But you didn't know anything about Jim Monroe Day. I'll save you, buddy.
Yes, we didn't know how many we were going to go out there. So I think we brought a bunch of chicken, hoping for the best because the Moose always supports Celina. It's a good area, and just I got through one of those seminars. I was looking. I was like, we're killing it.
Yeah.
Like I looked like about halfway through. We were on Western time, so I didn't know what time it was here, and I was just like, we're smoking it.
Yeah, but you didn't know what happened. So
No,
just
I
to
didn't.
tease this real quick, at this point when you were checking your phone and saying we're smoking it, one of the things that had happened is we talk about on the tech updates from week to week. I do the live stream. Part of my personality and career outside of just this podcast and the food truck was that I play video games for a living and I have a digital community that watches me live, which is really cool. One person in particular, we were just doing the live stream. We actually got rated, and for those that don't know what that means, it means when some creator is ending his live stream, they can certainly and generously bring their community to the other channel. See what I'm saying? Like it just funnels the traffic to somebody else. And so they take all the people watching, they dump them in somebody else's channel and say, hey, we wanted to support you, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Right before we started this live, or right as we started the live stream, probably 10 minutes in, we get rated by like 150 people. So we got a lot of people watching, okay? And this is just...
And they're probably like, what are they doing?
No, they
chicken?
love it was another food guy. It was really cool. So then about 10 minutes after that, was the guy last year that donated all the meals, lunch and dinner at the boardwalk, all multi-$1,000 donation, decides to do it again.
Damn.
So he goes and he gives some gratuity to me in a way, like subs and subscriptions to the thing. I'm not going to get into the whole model of Twitch today, but you can do your research. Very generous, gave me some money, right? After which he goes, let's keep this going. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, I'm buying all the meals today. So not only did he give me the tip, but everybody's meal at Jim Monroe Day, free.
It's wild.
We sold 200, we probably fed 250 to 300 people. They let me go on stage and make an announcement. Like, it was kind of trickle. We were kind of doing well. And then it just... And I was so thankful Rob was there to help out. So it was me, Rich, Berkey, and Rob. We needed every bit of all 4 people in there, dude.
Rob was down bad. Rob texted me last night. He gives me like the recap, right? Because he's very hard on himself. He's just like, I almost gave my tip money to Berkey and Rich because I felt like I was just failing that bad and they were doing so good. I said, it's kind of the part of training, right? I mean, they've been doing this for 100 events. Like those, you, Berkey, and Rich, no joke, you guys are the optimal team from an operation standpoint. You guys know where you're at. You can just flow sandwiches out, fast, high output. Rob probably felt like he was just getting in the way. I said, it's also the first event he's been to that's been like
that
level. So I told him, I said, it's different when it gets to that level. It's chicken prison for a reason.
I mean, I think he did an amazing job. So my perspective is just far different. One, I'm not as hard on, I'm probably the hardest on Rich because I want him to ascend to be, he's a great cook now. Look, last year and early parts of this year, he's learning the flow. He's making sure all his baskets are always, it's like jazz. He's got to keep that flow. He's an amazing cook, and now I'm just working on communication with him. So I thought it was good on multiple, and by communication I mean just like, hey, I need this. Hey, this. Like, he's the quarterback. I told him that last night. You're the quarterback. Sometimes he zones in. You know what I mean? But you want to talk about accountability? He takes accountability every single freaking day. Like, man, this truck don't run without Rich. Rob seeing that, as well as, I mean, he still filled stuff. He did buns all night. He learned a little bit of POS. I don't know why he's being so hard on himself. Berkey does the same thing. He screwed up a couple sandwiches, like starting before he saw him, which, I take responsibility. We all do. He just texted me at like 1 a.m, C-. That's his grade he gave himself. I'm like, you're being a little hard on yourself. We just gave away $4,000 worth of free food, buddy. Fed your entire community. And what he's going to hang his hat on that night and beat himself up. Same with Rob he just didn't feel like we did something immaculate yesterday. Yeah. Special. I don't think it's ever been done like that.
Now, there was a guy that texted me yesterday, and I was in Vegas, and I was in this seminar, right? And then I get this text message. It's like, hey, Two Dads is giving away free chicken. I said, no, not that I'm aware of. Like,
sorry.
I just
spit. I just spit because everyone's getting free food. And you're like, no, they don't.
Yeah, like, no, they don't.
Get out of here.
So then Haley went. They went to the pool, Haley and Riker, and then they had baseball. So they stopped over at the Moose to eat. And she texts me. She says, some guy bought everybody's meal for the day at Two Dads over at the Moose. And I'm like, oh, shoot. Text this other guy back. I'm like, hey, yeah, sorry, I was wrong.
About that.
Somebody gave a big donation, and they basically paid for everybody's meals. He's like, I literally turned around when they said it wasn't free. I was like, you should have kept going. Just go buy the meal. Like,
if it ain't free, it ain't me, I guess.
I don't know, but either way.
It was cool. I'm going to give a shout out. It's Kick Your Booties. It's his username on Twitch. I'd be remiss not to mention that. The dude's a legend.
Yeah.
He's fed more people in Celina for free than I think most businesses probably can chalk it up to. I mean, in total, he's gifted damn near $10,000.
And where is he from?
Southern California.
Love that.
You see what I'm saying?
Kick
He
your
didn't even know
booties,
Jim Monroe.
MVP, baby.
You are the MVP. He didn't even know Jim Monroe. How special is that? You see what I'm saying? I'm just trying to share the perspective for those who were fortunate enough to eat. Obviously, they were grateful. Obviously, we're working our tail off to make sure that we feed this community. We put the love in every hand-breaded, home, fresh cut fries, like everything we do. But I still have to give all credit to him because without him, we would have had probably a great day. I think the Moose would have showed up, and I think there was plenty of people there packed for that event. But without that Twitch aspect, we talk about why the Twitch side, why the live stream, why the podcast. It opens up so many new avenues for the business to grow. We got a lot of podcast talk yesterday. Where's Bill? I forget. Isaac Busher.
We're gonna put that on a shirt. Where's Bill?
Isaac Busher came in. And Rich was in the truck, and I was scurrying around trying to clean up afterwards. And he goes, Berkey? And Berkey goes, what? Like, he's just straight face. He goes, you're Berkey. You're from Two Dads. You're on the podcast and stuff. Really? I think maybe
he's jazzed up.
Yeah, I think he might have been. You know what I mean? He won't hear this anyway, so
I mean, it might be one too
Berkey,
many
you're the worst.
vodka,
Nobody
vodka
likes
Kool-Aid's
you.
Down.
Exactly. We had plenty. Berkey had a good time. It was really good, but I'm glad to be back. What do we have upcoming? So I preface this by saying not all of our events will be free food, so it will be at random on that. Don't come, is the food free today? Yes, we like being the Mr. Beast of chicken, but at the same time, don't come with that expectation. We're still a growing business in our second year. What events are we looking forward to, buddy?
But also, if you don't ever come, you can't get free chicken either.
True. Roll the dice.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So, upcoming events, you guys will hear this on Tuesday, June 10th. We have a Globus printing event that is not open to the public. So as much as we'd love to serve you guys chicken, this is a private event. It is one thing that Mitch and I have kind of been working with on how we're going to get the throughput at a factory. I know Carrie Sr.
I am so nervous.
I know Carrie Sr. said, it's tough to get that many people, that have 20 or 30-minute breaks, and how can they serve so much chicken? But luckily, we have the number of people that are going to eat. We know, it's a limited menu to try to optimize efficiencies.
Takes my cortisol a little lower.
Yeah, Mitch yesterday, he's like, hey, we need to figure this out.
Rapid fire text, as usual.
And it was just zoop, 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 zoop. And I was like, hey, how about we just go tenders only? We'll just give them the option, tenders only, maybe just one sandwich option. And we reached out to them, and the lady there was great. She's like, yep, that's no problem. Just go tenders only.
That is so nice.
Tenders, fries, 2 baskets, roll. We'll be able to get them out fast, hot, and get everybody fed, which is nice. So it is a guaranteed event. We know how much we're going to make out of it, essentially, for how many orders.
How about public events? We got anything coming up?
Public events wise, we are off next weekend.
Woo!
So,
whoa, where's my sounds? Yeah, I could use a break.
Yeah, so we have nothing next weekend, the week of the 14th. So June 14th, we have nothing. We're back at it the following weekend, though, June 21st and 22nd. What's the drive right there by the lake in between Boardwalk?
West Bank Road.
West Bank Road will be over there.
For what?
For the Governor's Cup Regatta. So I've never seen it, never been there, but I have heard big things that this used to be a big thing in Celina where they would race all these.
I remember it as a kid.
I was sad. Speedboats.
We had the algae problem, I think, was a big part of it, wasn't it? I don't know if I truly don't know if it was more of a behind the scenes problem or if it was like the algae problem. Because remember, for a little while, the lake was like uninhabitable. It was like, don't go in. You're gonna get like it's non-contact right now. Yeah. We had enough phosphorus, nitrogen, and potassium in that to grow 15 aquariums, and that thing don't leak out anywhere. You know what I mean? That's a man-made lake if you're unfamiliar with Grand Lake out here.
So it was funny though. Scott Anderson, there's a couple guys from the area. Scott and Eric Anderson, they're brothers. They're from St. Mary's. So.
I just remember. I think I paid him, or I thought.
Yeah, you did. You paid Scott Anderson. You paid a different Scott Anderson.
Okay.
So this guy emails us from the Governor's Cup Regatta.
Is this another Cleveland Indians
no,
thing? You paid the wrong Scott.
This is legit. So he emails us, hey, this is the regatta. Here's what we want to do with you guys. Here's the deposit. I think it was $400 or something like that.
$450.
It was a pretty hefty one.
It's
for
a hefty
for a 2-day event. So we paid that. I text Scott Anderson, the Scott I know. We were emailing the whole time, so I text him and I said, "Hey, for Governor's Cup Regatta, like, can we be out there Friday?" Blah blah blah. He says, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "I have emails from you saying, that we were going to do this food event." He's like, "It's wrong, Scott Anderson, brother." And I'm like, "Oh shoot!" So I emailed. It's
not even
the guy.
that like common of a name.
No,
it's not like a John Smith type thing. Scott Anderson. I don't know.
We had, and it's funny you say that. At the thing we had this weekend in Vegas, there was 2 Ryan Rices in our 8-person group.
Okay.
They both were in wholesale real estate. That was what their mission was. They were both there for the same reason with the same first and last name.
Someone's getting the wrong name tag, or
I don't know,
that just
man.
sounds like a logistical
It was
nightmare.
wild. And the weekend after that, though, we will be at the St. Mary's State Park campground.
She came up. She was really nice. She is jacked up. There were so many people. Yeah.
Yeah, it's my sister-in-law.
Wait. No, this was an older lady.
Oh, then it wasn't. It might be one of her bosses.
I don't know. Maybe,
Yeah.
Maybe someone married a cougar, baby.
Yeah, no, Jack did not. Jen is about 30, so it wasn't her. But no, we'll be out. My sister-in-law works at the state park over there. She's been asking us last year and this year to get out there. I asked her how many campers are out there. I didn't realize that there's 200.
It's big.
200 plus campers just sitting out there. People can come from the public, so I think that'll be a really, really big weekend. I'm getting excited to go all these different events just to kind of branch out a little bit, see where we're at. So. Come find us the next 2 weekends after this upcoming weekend, the 21st, 22nd in Celina, 27th, 28th, Grand Lake State Park over there on the north side of the lake.
Awesome. Well, the last update I have for those wondering, we have officially moved into the Commissary. Check that off the list. We're at the upper deck right now. They have they're not open for the summer, so they're focusing on the Sub Shack across the street. Delicious subs if you want to check that out. Free promo there for a project I worked on. No free ads, but a little, very good. We'll go out there sometime. It's very tasty. But that leaves a kitchen open that we in a prep area. Dude, I'm so happy. And guess what? We've got some help from some friends. We got a staff coming in tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. to bread chicken.
Hey-o.
And your boy's finally done breading both of us, baby. Oh, I could cry. I could genuinely cry.
Mitch said when I first started, I don't care what you do here. Your first objective is to get me to stop bread and chicken. I was like, it can't be that bad. And I think you can go back to the clip, the episode. First time I breaded, I said, this sucks.
It's awful.
I understand why you don't want to do it. It's because everything's hand breaded. I don't think people understand the volume of chicken that we bread in a day. It takes 4 to 6 hours, just bread and chicken, brining chicken, cutting fries. It's relentless. So
it gives me like PTSD. Just cortisol back up.
PTSD chicken.
Oh, nice work. That should be on a shirt,
yeah.
dude. We got so many shirts coming up. I'm not mentioning Zach, so don't ask about Zach.
No free paid ads.
No free paid ads.
Paid ads only, Zach.
Well, you guys can keep it going if you'd like. I'd take all the free press.
Yeah, I bet, dude. How
Start
about
sending
mailing
free
cards?
shirts, free shirts, and we'll start free adding you out.
I'm sick of Zach Albert.
We love you though. He's my
we do.
boss.
I just spit again.
So excited for that. You were talking about Berkey's from this weekend. He's got some sort of invention for the fry holder?
No, he just wants the fryer holder. Like, we're just getting better and better. Like, the crew is spinning and in a good way. Like, all the tires are spinning. They're humming. He was just talking about waste, and I think as an operations, I put in the show notes today, as an operations guy, you could appreciate that. Our fry guy's coming back and doing math in his head, basically going, I'm doing handfuls of fries. If somebody trains behind me, we don't have the same size hands, they don't know, right? And he's like, I also look in the trash cans, which you'll appreciate this, and he's like, I see fries in there, which, not a ton, but he's like, what if am I giving too much fries? Like, he's questioning the volume of fries.
Right.
So I was like, well, why don't we just get a holder? And he's like, I still might use my hands, but it'd be good for training. Now you can just say, just like you said, how do you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Exactly. So you just take the scoop, you dump it in the thing, and you're done, right? Yep. You know exactly how much you have every time, and it's pretty much foolproof because we're going to start having multiple teams working on this. I can't work every weekend. I have been grinding. You've been out traveling. We've been very empathetic of your time. Everything's great. You'll have weekends where you're working, and it'll just be so easy to say, hey, Maria, do this. Hey, so-and-so, hey, Rob, do this. Just grab this. But
standardization, baby.
We're trying to get standard. One of the things I wanted to talk about real quick before we talk about our guests and have Sophia on is like, if we had a lot of people find a secret menu item that we've got a couple, okay? I don't talk about it much because they're secret for a reason. If I revealed them in the podcast, it certainly has it's kind of a counterintuitive, no?
And when I asked for it when we were over in Portland, he got upset with me.
What'd you ask for?
I just asked for a basic dad with bad dad sauce.
There we go. Got to make it special for Bill.
And I'm just like, yeah, man, like it's good. It's not a secret menu, and we don't offer it.
Yeah, we're not a Subway, okay? I don't, people. Hey, can I get some onions and add pickle? I'm like, no.
No, you can have it Rich's way. That's the only way you can have.
Well, what would you do if you had a Bill's way? Okay, so they found some secret menus items. One is we have a hot as F sauce, and it's a hidden one that I put some scorpion. I mean, it's hot.
Yeah,
scorpion peppers, and it's scorpion garlic mixed with our mayonnaise. It's great, but it was hot, and we had a couple people catch wind. They were like, "Do you have anything hotter?" And I'm like, maybe. And they were like, let me try it. And I'm like, you sure? I asked them like multiple times. I'm like, this is a hot, and they loved it. So another secret menu item is discovered, which I am happy about, and I don't want to get bombarded with that. But if you really like some super spice, we got some really hot ones that can jack that hot dad to a hotter dad. But what would you do? What would you do if you had one secret menu item? Would you build it a certain way? Would you add a certain topping? Is anything come to mind immediately? It doesn't have to. You have to kind of take into consideration what we have on the truck.
Right. The only thing I could think of goes back to like the dad fries. Just give me a boat, throw the fries on the bottom, just take a spatula or something and cut up the chicken, and then just drizzle it over there with a bunch of hot dad sauce. And
Berkey would love doing that.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'd just be pissed off.
I mean, it's just something that's simple and it's not too difficult. Everything's in the truck. We don't have to add anything.
No, it's good.
So that's probably what I would go with. And one of these days when we don't have to be prepping anymore, so we won't be making it in there. One of these days when I'm out in the truck, I'm just going to try it out, just see what it tastes like.
I think I would do like a hottest dad. We always talk about the joke. Hot dad is one of the sandwich. It's sweet jalapenos and our spicy bad dad sauce and crispy chicken. It's really good. But what about a hotter dad, a hottest dad, right? I keep toying with that. Like sauce that we have could be step one of something in the future that we could tease, because there's a lot of people that ask for a little bit hotter of a temp. Right. You know what I mean?
It's corporate heat. It's not
corporate heat,
it's not
but
too spicy.
We can go. I thought, what if we kept like some slices of like ghost pepper cheese, and then that hot extra sauce, and just make a sandwich that's like sort of a hidden sandwich, a little bit of an upcharge, but a secret menu item like that. As the hot sauce god, I used to call myself, right, from the show Hot Shit. There's some people that are nice, dude. Good memory. But I think that'd be really fun.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a logistical nightmare, but we should step away from it from an operations standpoint.
Speaking of nightmares, though, Bill, you guys might be watching on YouTube right now. We're dressing up our best Ghostbusters outfits. And you guys may be wondering why. Well, today's guest wears a lot of hats. An educator, a community leader, and the heart behind one of Celina's most beloved family businesses. That'd be Casa Rodriguez. Miss Sophia Rodriguez is a proud Celina Schools alum, a high school Spanish teacher, and a co-manager of Casa Rodriguez, where the enchiladas are hot, and according to many locals, the atmosphere might just be a little extra lively. They got to ghost people. There's a ghost. This is ghost stories. We're talking about ghost stories today, and I'm very excited to share that. Bill, before we jump into it and have her out here, you believe in ghosts? How you feeling?
100%. Grandpa's house when I grew up out in the country. Henry Schnelly is the ghost. They never came back. I've witnessed it, and I fully believe in ghosts.
I have had experiences in my basement, coughing, weird things, sleep paralysis, hearing things moving.
Even our marker didn't work.
Our marker didn't work today.
All of a sudden, it's just
nice today
and
the ghost stuff comes up. Now the marker dies too.
She brought him with us.
I don't know, but let's bring out our guest over here. This ad break is powered by the American Cornhole Association, the original governing body of cornhole. Listen, as dads who've played way too many late-night backyard games and maybe taken a few too seriously, I'm looking at you, Bill, trust us, your bags matter. The ACA has 8 different models designed for every type of player. Whether you're chucking with the kids in the driveway or battling for bragging rights at a tournament, they've got you covered. From classic duck cloth to waterproof, glow-in-the-dark, and dual-sided fast and slow fabrics, and with hundreds of exclusive designs you'll toss like a legend, and hey, you'll look good doing it. Built by the pros, trusted by dads like us, that's ACA. And use code 2DADS at checkout for up to 15% off.
Hey! What an icebreaker. Sophia, how are you today? Thanks for coming out here.
Well, thanks for having me. I want to say hola, 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 hola to everybody here.
Hola,
and everybody
¿cómo
watching.
estás, baby? You got a lot of hats here, okay?
Yes, I do.
I tried to recap them right now. I'm just going back through my notes. You're a Celina School's alum.
Yes,
You are a high school Spanish teacher.
correct.
You help manage Casa Rodriguez.
Correct.
And you also are in the public sector, right? Running for various...
Salina City Council president.
Your current president?
No, I'm running
for it.
Salina
Okay.
City.
I was like, I do...
will be.
Yeah.
I'm,
Yes,
we've had it.
I will be.
Positive
believe-
reinforcement. I'm a big believer.
Manifestation,
Nice.
baby.
Congratulations.
How do you describe yourself to people, though? Like, if somebody asks, like, I do a lot of things myself. Like, I have Twitch, and I play video games, and I do this, and I'm food truck, and this, and consulting. Well, how do you describe yourself currently? Like, if somebody asks who you are.
Well, it's funny because a lot of different people, they know me and the different roles that I play.
Mm-hmm.
And the big question I always get is, how do you do all those things? How do you be an educator, help run a restaurant, be the president of the Women's Eagles Auxiliary, be president of Mercer County Democrat Party, and then run for city council president? And how do you do all those things? And I said, well, I do them one at a time, and I don't get a lot of sleep.
Same thing with us. Like the Bills, one that's very familiar territory in the because you're in the business of self, right? Like you're certainly working on certain things. You're also in the business of Casa Rodriguez. It's a literal business, but then you're also in the business of like yourself as you run to different, avenues that you want to run for, and public sector. That's a whole different business model than the private sector. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So you said real quick, you don't have a lot of free time, right?
Correct.
What activities have you really cut out? Just to ask this because I want to get to the ghost stuff. But what activities have you cut out?
Well, I used to love to read. I don't read anymore. Read books, for leisure. Read books. Loved movies. Don't go to the movies as much. Though, I did go see Mission Impossible. Highly recommend.
Okay.
With my
Free
brother.
ads for Mission Impossible. Thanks
Yep,
so much,
yep.
Sophia, for your
I'll
time.
get
I
my
appreciate
check
you
later
coming in.
this
That's all the
week.
time.
Did you go to the one in Celina?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with my
Shout
brother.
out Justin or
Josh.
Justin or Josh. I got the J right.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I think what they've done there for the town and everything with the movie theater, it's awesome to see because I remember when your feet would stick to the floor.
Yeah,
back
they
in
make
the
a
day.
sound. every
Bowling
time you
alley
walk.
looks great. Justin's
Yeah.
the bowling
Yeah.
alley.
Justin,
I see where
all
your
right.
brain's at.
I'm getting there. I'm terrible with names.
You know, it's funny.
You are again?
Mike.
Okay.
So we want to talk about this ghost adventure. Yeah. Obviously, we've dressed up in Ghostbuster suits. Thank you so much for allowing us as a guest to have a little bit of fun with this. If you guys are watching on YouTube at 2DadsPod, you can see that I'm Peter Venkman and Bill. Riker described those. We actually I wanted Bill in the Slimer outfit, and the lady was so egregiously late shipping it that it's going to be here tomorrow. So I just told Riker he could have
I
it.
kind of feel like I'm one of those like Britain soldiers that just stand outside.
the Royal Guards, I believe, is what you're looking
just
for.
Stand there. It's like that's what I feel like I
So,
look like.
so we both believe in ghosts. We've shared that, ghosts. We've seen some stuff at our house, and we'll share maybe some more stories of our own. What can you tell us about this ghost? Where did this originate? Give us some background on it so that people, before we jump into these questions, can understand like what is happening over there.
Okay, so culturally, we believe in spirits and the ghosts. We were raised in believing in the kukui. Kukui is like the equivalent to the boogeyman.
Oh.
Okay, so the kukui. But when the restaurant started there on West Logan Street, there was only two parts of the building. Then we expanded, and then we expanded again. And it was probably after the second expansion that my parents and other workers there noticed some things were happening. And my mom always claimed that there was a little girl there. and that would play practical jokes on the workers, move things, shuffle things for the workers. Never anything about the customers that would come in, but it was mainly the workers, because sometimes a worker would come in on a single shift and be there by themselves, or there's two people in the kitchen and things like that. So that was kind of how it started. But it was, it's just really interesting as time progressed and people that were associated with the restaurant, family and friends, passed away, the activity started to increase. So we always felt that those people that passed were there at the restaurant. That would come back, because that's, the restaurant was another home. I mean, people, family and friends just come there, just, hey, I just came to get a Coke, coffee, hang out. Hey, you got donuts or, whatever. And they would hang out. And then, so maybe that was something that, hey, they wanted to come back to Casa.
Regulars, right?
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
I hope we don't have any of those at the food truck.
But they be traveling with us, and it's a lot tighter of a space. You ain't going too far. Hey, man, someone's messing me in. Well, you're 2 steps away from the other side of the truck. Can you recall any personal experiences you had? So you obviously hear of this little girl. Have you confirmed that? Has anything happened to you personally?
Yeah, well, we'll talk. I'll tell you, the Ghost Sisters, they came to visit.
Oh, yeah. These
Right.
are TikTokers? And what are they? What platform do they use?
They got TikTok, they're on YouTube.
So they're social media.
Facebook,
And what are the Ghost Sisters? Fill us in.
I'm sorry.
What are the Ghost Sisters? Like
There are 3 sisters. One who is can read, psychic, things like that, and then the other 2 sisters help her film and organize and things like that. So, yeah, I think it starts with voices, especially in the back of the restaurant, where there's storage, and then where we do a lot of the prep work, and to kind of. We just hired a new guy that fries the chips, and usually that person comes in after everybody, after the restaurant's closed, or he comes in very early. And one time he brought his daughter, and they were in the back cutting chips, and his daughter called him back there and said, Dad, do you hear voices? He goes, yeah, where is that? What's that coming from? So he came to me and said, hey, Jill and I were in the back and we heard some voices. I'm like, oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe it's the radio. I didn't want to tell him.
Right. You didn't want to scare him.
I didn't want to scare him. And then later when he came in, we told him, he's like, my daughter's never coming in here again.
I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Is there any good stories from customers that they've had any experiences with?
None that I know of.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I would say that's probably a positive.
Yeah.
It's very good for business.
But we've had so many incidences that have happened in the kitchen, from like a tray of chicken flew out, literally the door opened and it flew out of the cooler.
This is.
How does that
put
happen?
some cameras up there or something.
Yeah.
That would be
Could
great.
we do
Yeah.
Could we do? Well, let me ask you this. What did the sisters find? You said the sisters came in, and they obviously have one who's a medium. I think that's what they call it, like the psychic, the medium who can feel it, and then the crew.
She had to do a walkthrough, and she would say, "Well, I sense this," and she's like, "There's a man. He has a hat. Wait a minute, who's so?" She would just kind of go through, and when she finished, she said, "There are 10 people here."
Oh God, dude!
There's not a ghost.
And we're like,
There's a family of ghosts.
Okay. Yeah, but one of them, the little girl, when she mentioned her, she's like, whoever that little girl is not from here. It's not this time. She must have been here before the restaurant was built, or, so she's just kind of hanging around. She's not from here.
So when these sisters came in, obviously it's cool that you open your doors to have them kind of try that out. Do you feel like some people listening might say this is foo-foo, regardless of what their grandparents had to believe, blah, blah, blah. Do you feel more empowered now? Like, did they confirm more for you? Or do you feel like how do you feel after that they left? That you believe them?
Oh, absolutely. We believed that. We believed it was there before we even.
Sure, obviously.
I mean, it was because of the things that happened. Like, the guy that used to do the chips, his name was Albert, right? And we had this old chip cutter. It's like, it was so hard. The blade would go up, and you have to go down and turn the chips. Go down again, it was just really, really hard to cut the chips. And so when he passed, his daughter said, I'll do chips for a while for my dad. And she was in the kitchen and she was getting her fryer ready. She turned to go to the back of the room, right? The back of the kitchen where we prep the food. She was prepping the chips. The lever of the chip cutter went up and then it went down. And it's not an easy lift. You know what I'm saying?
Chills,
I know.
man.
I got chills thinking about it too. It was crazy. And then Kate was in the kitchen. She goes, Kate, did you see that? She's like, no. She's like, I can't go back there. My dad's back there. I can't go back there. I can't go back there. And she's like, I gotta wait. I can't. She told Kate. She got emotional.
Yeah, I bet.
And so, but what I tell a lot of people have been coming into the restaurant and they've been asking about the experience. And I said, look, the thing that convinced me the most was not filmed. And if it were filmed, I mean, I'm getting a little goosebumps thinking about it. So we're there and it's the one main ghost sister. Only two sisters came. One had to go outside to take a phone call. And then she had recorded us and she was editing, so she's on her phone. She's, going editing. And we were waiting for my Aunt Vanessa and her daughter, Christina. Christina was the one, is Albert's daughter that saw the lever go up, And I kid you not, man, she's like, okay, so she's there editing. We were talking at the bar and Vanessa walks in and then Christina walks in. And as soon as Christina walks in, it was like, she's just looking at her. She's following her. She's looking her up and down. She goes back to her phone. She keeps looking back at her. Keeps, and I noticed, like, what is going on? What is she doing? Like, she is just like zoning in on Christina. Christina and Vanessa, they're coming in, joking, whatever. I'm like, something's happening here. Because she was like, everything about her
This
changed.
is the medium.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So then she just finishes up on her phone. She puts her phone down and she starts talking. I mean, literally just starts talking. And we're all like, what's going on? Because she never said hey or your name or anything. She just started talking. And she was zoning in right at Christina. And it was like, started talking. He said, stop feeling guilty. It is not your fault. He feels your weight. And he said, it's not your fault. Whatever it is, I don't know, but this is what he's telling me this. I don't know. I don't know. Is it your dad? Maybe your dad that's here. And that was Albert. Christina just starts bawling, right?
I'm getting choked up a little bit here, dude. My eyes are like, that's
You
deep.
need Kleenex?
I'm just a sympathetic man.
Vanessa's crying, and it's like, what is going on? And then she's like, he said, you did the best you could, and he's very grateful, and he loves you, and he goes, stop feeling that way, because it's not your fault, and whatever. And then this is the right. She's like, okay. And she's like, she's looking around like, what's happening? And she starts going like this, reaching out her hand and like pointing. And we are all like, oh, because that guy, Albert, when he wanted to talk to you,
He would tap you like that?
he would tap you like that. And the employees,
My leg hair's
even
standing up.
Ryan said he has felt the tapping.
Ryan told me that personally.
And he felt the tug. We think the tug was probably the little girl, but the tapping is Albert. And we have all felt that, like somebody coming in and tapping.
That's where I really am like invested in this. So as somebody who's educated, right, further education, and I think of myself as a smarter guy, right?
You smart?
Yeah.
I try.
Smart.
I try. I
Smart.
talk too much.
Self-proclaimed.
Self-proclaimed, yeah. But what I'm saying is a lot of the things that somebody says there is very generalized, right? Like, it's not your fault, Bill.
Yeah.
I'm sure you
Yeah.
could associate that with
Yeah.
something deep
Yeah.
down that you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I have carried this guilt. That's a very generalized statement to me. It doesn't do anything for me. That second part
Yeah.
moves the needle for me.
Yeah.
It's the motions. It doesn't have to be the
yeah. She just said, she's like, he keeps doing this. What is this? She's like, I don't know what is this, but he keeps doing this.
That's something you can't research either. That's the stuff that I like. Like,
Yeah.
if I wanted to project something upon you, right? Follow me here, people that are listening. Like, if I wanted to project something, I do a little deep dive research. I can probably guess and project some things about your life if we just do a deep dive on who you are, ask a couple friends, and then the projection becomes easier the more data you get. and you still hope to be 60% right, 50% right if you're really good.
Right.
That type of stuff, you can't script it like that.
Yeah.
That's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question that came to my mind. When you go in this restaurant, and I think, of myself, when I've had these experiences, right? Like, I've always said in my own home, every one of the spirits that's around, I don't know how the spiritual plane works. I love talking about it. I really don't know. I've always felt that it's good. It's scary because you're in this weird thing, space in your house where it should be safe. But do you feel like the spirits are good, bad, neutral? Like, do you feel that they have different personalities? Anything that comes to mind when you hear that?
Oh, yeah. I think they're people we know. I think they are family. I think, especially at the restaurant, there were people that would come in weekly. Mm-hmm. Every day. We know exactly what they want every day. There are families that come in. There are families that like when they pass, they tell their children, hey, give this to Tino and Nacha. I had this for a long time in the attic. So we put that stuff up. People have given us stuff that their families have had that want our restaurant to have. So we take that and we put it up. Like the things you see in the restaurant, those are things, many of them are things that have been given to us by customers who feel like they're part of our family. And they are. They are part of our family.
I have a quick just segmentation to that because it's the idols. I don't know how any of this works, okay? I don't think experts I'm in here to
You
Ghostbusters.
just said you were a smart guy.
Well, that spiritual realm can't.
He lied.
All
He
right.
just lied.
Self-proclaimed.
I didn't say I was a medium. You know what I mean? But my buddy Drew, very similarly, I'll expedite this story just for the sake of our time here. He was having night terrors, bad ones, that this thing was coming out of his closet, and during the day, it would feel it. It would every night, you'd see it open the doors and it would come out, blah, blah, blah. Right? It went through a multi-month thing where he wouldn't sleep in his room. He was trying to sleep with his parents. I mean, he's a grown kid. He's a sharp kid, smart kid. I mean, you'd be like, really, dude? Anyway, would touch him and travel. The priest came over, tried to bless the room. When they got in the room, the holy water fell out and broke. Literally, the bottle the priest brought broke. Whoa. And the priest looked at him and said, Drew, you need to make peace with this. You're not doing something. You're doing something bad. Okay, you need to go. Like basically, it was like,
You better fix this.
Yeah, you better.
No, not the other guy. You.
This guy was for the Catholic diocese. I've had beers with this priest. I've been at parties and stuff because they're family friends. He's the poltergeist. Like he's the guy they call when someone's possessed. So the Catholic diocese really believes in possession and stuff like that. Right. Anyway, that guy came out and he's like, you need to make peace with something. All right. So anyway, long story short, they go to his closet one day because that's where the thing keeps coming out. And up in the top right of his closet was a mask, okay? And in that mask was this like tiki mask his dad got on vacation one time years and years and years ago. And they think something was that. So they took it out of the closet and they threw it in the fire pit. He was like, let's just do it. And I have a picture. I don't bring it up because I don't want this in my home, right? Like I don't know how doorways work or things like that. I don't look at the picture anymore because I started having like bad dreams and visions and man standing at my door with that thing. They tried to burn it. And it made a face. You can see it. It's just it wouldn't burn for a while. They had to douse it, but you can see the flames, and it makes a face, dude. And it's a real dude. I was just like, I'm out. So I'm very glad to round this back that these sound like good people. Do you think that's any connection then, obviously, to the idols that you bring into your restaurant?
Perhaps.
What do you think about all this, like, overall? Do you like having ghosts? Do you not like having ghosts? Like, would you prefer just to run a regular restaurant, or do you like that?
Oh, no.
There's a little bit of oddity to it.
I think culturally, it's something that is ingrained in us that those people that have passed are always going to be with us. So it's very normal. I mean, we embrace that. We celebrate that. Heck, we have Day of the Dead. I mean, we celebrate
Dia
death.
de los Muertos for my Spanish, baby.
Muy bien. Excelente.
See, that's all I got for you. Cerveza.
Ooh, mas.
Yeah.
So, question then, just to follow up on that. Basically, in my side of religion, right? Like just Christianity and the way I don't know what I am right now, but I'm a God-fearing man and I'm really working toward being a good person. In ours, or at least when I was raised Catholic, it's purgatory. Like passing on of the spirits was never a good thing. Like I feel like if spirits are here, they're not at rest. And in yours, you're saying that this is like a good thing. Like maybe brings them comfort, or it's just the place that they've always reoccurred. And I'm just wondering, like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, so in your, what was it called again? I don't want to butcher it. What was the faith-based spiritual?
Dia de los Muertos?
No. You said in
Kukui?
Kukui. In Kukui, it's a good thing then.
Well, the kukui is something very different.
It's like the boogeyman, she said.
Yes, the kukui.
Oh, so I'm basically was just confused.
Yeah.
Do you love that the
You
boogeyman's
said you were a smart man.
Well, there's a lot of words being thrown out here. I didn't say I was smart in multi languages.
Well, the kukui is something. Okay, so growing up, we were always taught the kukui's going to get you. Watch out, the kukui. If you don't behave, the kukui's going to come and get you. So the kukui was a way to manage our behavior. We had no idea what the kukui looked like, man, but we were scared to death of the kukui. And so that was kind of something very different than death. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
So those people that come back and visit, sometimes they stay, sometimes they let us know they're here. Sometimes they do. They tell us maybe they didn't like the chicken that was in the fridge. You know, they threw that out. In the office, things would literally fly off of the shelves. Not just fall, but fly.
Well, how can someone be good by throwing stuff? Is it just trying to get someone's
so
attention?
Maybe somebody's not happy.
Well, you said it could be unhappiness or maybe mischievous from the little girl.
Yep.
Maybe she's just playing some stuff.
Yeah.
It's wild though, because you talk about getting to rest and the Catholic religion and stuff like that. So my grandpa, this was my experience with ghosts, right? So my grandpa bought a house, I don't know when, in the 60s or 70s, over in New Knoxville. Was a farmhouse. The two family members, husband and wife, were driving and they got in a car accident. They died. They never came back home. They didn't have kids. They didn't have kin. So it went to like a estate sale. So my grandpa bought it on an estate sale. There's always been rumors. His name's Henry Schnelly. Like, I'll never forget the name, right? And it was always a joke from the uncles and my dad, right? You better be careful. Henry Schnelly's going to come out when you stay. When you stay at grandpa's, you be careful, because we stayed at my grandpa's a lot growing up.
Sure.
So we were in the kitchen one time, right? Grandpa's over there by the stove. My brother and I are standing here at the kitchen table waiting to eat, and the radio is across the kitchen, right? It's a big old farmhouse. It's probably past that refrigerator, probably 15, 16 feet away. All of a sudden, radio blares. What the hell? And Grandpa's like, just turn it off. And I go over there, turn it off. It's unplugged. Not kidding you. I was like, I'm out, man. Like, and he's like, it's fine. He's never done anything negative. Like, and like he swears by. He says he's always around. He's always poking around. But this is his house. Like, he never left here. And like, Grandpa swears by that. So then you fast forward. I had one other experience there, very minor, just kind of a glimpse of him. Just that's it. So my grandpa gets older. He switches houses with my uncle. Moves in the same area, smaller house. My uncle moves out to the farm. Uncle gets a divorce. His new girlfriend stays over for like the first time. Mm-hmm. Right? So
New energy in the house.
New energy in the house. And she's sitting on the bed. And Henry's just staring at her at the end of the football.
Oh, don't say that.
No way. No.
No, just staring at her. And she didn't say anything that night to my uncle. So the next day we were all over. She's like, I met Henry last night. And he's like, wait, what? Never told her about Henry because he didn't want to scare her, right? New girl over.
She said the name?
She says, I met Henry last night. And just like, we were there. Uncle went like ghost white. Like, what? She says, yeah, he just introduced himself. He's Henry Schnelly. He was at the foot of the bed and then he just kind of flew away.
That is the crazy. Dude.
Yeah. So like same thing. Like you talk about the mischievousness. Like every family member there has seen him or had an experience, and it's just been very casual, not really mischievous. Just he still just lives in the house. Yeah. I feel like that's all he does.
We had two people pass away in our house. My grandma and my mom looked after her. God bless her for doing that. And then we had a neighbor who she took in, and the same thing happened. So I've heard coughing in the house at night. Just like, and Bud was a smoker, so he would cough But I always felt good. Like I always feel my grandma there in a weird way, and I was never sure if it was empathy or just like my own emotions. But that one's cool. I've got a good one. I got a good ghost story since we're going around the table today.
Can we reclassify our podcast as like a crime junkie style? Like
I think this is going to change the full course of how we do our podcast.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'll tell this one. So, I was in my house one time, and I was in the basement, and a little bit more unexplained. Still have no idea. I had to make peace with it. Okay, I'll get through this one because the next story is very funny. This one though, I heard a chandelier crash. It sounded like the china cabinet tipped over, and this is about 11:30 at night. And I come booking it upstairs. I'm like, what just happened? My mom is, and I think she was still married at the time. My stepdad were there, and no, actually, I think it was just her. But anyway, I heard a crash, dude. I mean, a big crash, like above me, and I'm in the basement. Okay, fly up the stairs. I'm going room to room. tearing it apart. Like what? It had to be something big. It sounded like a full thing in our like foyer, just like, like we have some lights and stuff. Nothing. Wake my mom up. You didn't hear that? I'm ghost white. Still to this day, no idea, right? I preface that by saying a couple months later, all right, I partook in smoking some marijuana, okay? Okay? Uh-oh. And I'm at a buddy's house, and he's not feeling well, okay? And I was like, dude, I can get you some soup or whatever, and like I got some aspirin. They had nothing in the house. Typical boys, right? Typical teenage boys. So young 20s, actually. So I go to my house, and I get him some stuff, and as I'm getting ready to leave, I look out the window, and there is a woman in a black gown, is what it appears to be, walking slow. We just watched Silent Hill and partook in marijuana, okay? So I am crouched behind this window, staring at this thing, and this thing sees me and starts walking slow around my sidewalk at the end of my driveway. Pitch black out, it's dark out, okay? I am freaked out. I'm full fight or flight. I'm like, I will never live this down if I don't run at this thing and just go see what it is, because this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. So I go, ah, and I sprint down the driveway, and it's this goth kid that's just like at the foot of my driveway, being kind of weird, but he's in the cul-de-sac area, like not as, and he goes, oh, fuck! And I'm just like, you get the fuck out of here! And he goes, I'm just lost, and I was like, I'm so sorry, dude. I was still adrenaline. It's fight or flight. I go, get the fuck out of here! And I just yelled at this poor kid. So I wonder if his memory is the same of just some maniac flying outside the house.
Is that where that chicken
him,
But he's in fucking. I'm sorry for my language. I'm still get heated over it. He is in just full bell. What do you call those jeans? Those like flared
bell
out
bottoms,
like kind of, but for dudes like the Jenkos,
like Juggalo
all
jeans.
black at 11 o'clock at night on the foot of my driveway, dude. I'm coming at you. I'm coming at you. So
He
that's
comes back now. He's like, that's where that crazy chicken guy lives.
Yeah.
ghost stories aside. This has been very fun. I think this is a new version of ghost stories. Like the podcast is sort of the new campfire. You know what I mean? Like it's. I'm really excited to see this one. I hope people listening right now are grinning just like we are, because this is the most authentic version of self. Question though, because it's such a polarizing topic, because word's gotten out there, obviously the Two Dads podcast is heard. We've heard through the grapevine of these rumors, these people coming into town. Do you get a lot of people coming in now, not just for tamales, but to you know, kind of see the ghost action or hope to see something? Has that kind of changed a little bit?
Oh yeah, there's customers, and I'm glad I can be there because it's summer, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm not in school, and so a lot of, you know, the server will come. Sometimes I get stuck in the office and said, "Hey, somebody out here wants to talk to you," and I come out and like, "Can you tell us what happened? You tell us," you know, and I share things with them, and you know, like sometimes I said, if you stay here long enough, you'll sometimes hear the bar stool move. The bar stools move. You know how they and they make this noise. Or if you're sitting at the bar, you'll hear like when we have like you walk in. And there's like an entryway, and then there's two doors. Mm-hmm. So when you open the very first door from the outside, one of the front doors goes because the suction, right?
Sure.
Sucks it out. So like me and my Aunt Vanessa, the last time we were sitting there, we're talking, we're cleaning, sorting beans, and all of a sudden we hear that. So your natural
you think
reaction,
someone's walking in.
Right. So everybody turns, you know, Vanessa and I turn, and we're waiting. She goes, you did hear that, right? I'm like, yeah, I did hear that. Whoa. She's like, somebody's here. You know.
Do you ever get tired of it yourself? I mean, when I come into work every day, right? Like it's already, you got your stuff to do, right? You got to either scrub the floors or cook the chicken or prep or blah 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 blah. Does it ever get tiresome that you're like, can you just leave me alone today? Can we just pause today?
I've done that in the office. I've been by myself, and I feel.
Don't do that.
Right?
For those that are listening, she tapped Bill on the back
like
of
on
the
the back, and I'm trying to count money. I'm trying to do sales report. I'm like, okay, I don't have time right now. Okay, I just don't have time. Please, because I'm a little bit scared. You know, just a little bit. I'm like, can I just please finish this?
Does it work?
Yeah, it worked that time. I mean,
sometimes it does not work.
The other time the tray just went flying.
Yeah.
I'll show you, lady.
Yeah. Or, you know, like the last time the bottle of lime juice, you know, flew or came off of the shelf, I don't know how, and hit me on the back of the foot.
That is so
And weird. I'm looking like, well, how did that get out of there? I mean, like, it had to have been pulled out and then laid on the floor to roll.
How many encounters do you think you've had over and really, when did they start? They started heating up several years ago, a couple years ago, this year?
It's been ongoing. I mean, it's just sometimes, you hear the employees talk about it, like, oh, something happened today. Or, I mean, it's been for years. Even, my mom passed away a year ago, May. Even when she wasn't working there as much, and when she was there, she would talk about things happening, or the workers would say, Nacha, somebody did this. She's like, oh, it must be the little girl, or it's somebody else. But
your dad's convinced it's your mom.
Oh, my dad's in big trouble with my mom.
Yeah, so he said she comes home with him.
Yeah.
He says, can you explain that to viewers? So when I was in there before we got Sophia on here, Ryan and your dad were sitting at the Moose, and we were in there to meet you.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were going to have that pizza date and, hold hands and stuff. Yeah. But we were sitting at the table, and that's when I really got this lead. And he said, Ryan told his story. It's like, yeah, it's pretty like this and stuff. And then all of a sudden your dad was like, well, she pulls on my toes at home. So maybe tell a story about that.
Okay, so here's the thing about my mom. So my mom, very atypical Mexican, older woman, very demanding, very, strict, wants certain things done a certain way. And if you don't do it, boy, she'll let you know. And so in many conversations that I've had with the two of them and her with my other siblings, she said, I want cremated and I don't want people looking at me. Okay. I want cremated. You can bury me. I don't want people looking at me. My mom passes away. We end up at the funeral home. And, Rob is like, okay, what do you want? And my dad's like, well, I want a casket. We're all like, Dad, Mom wanted cremated. He goes, it's not about her. It's about me. And we're like, oh, you in trouble. I was like, you're in trouble. So what was really weird about it, okay? So I don't know if you've had experience with death, somebody close to you or whatever. So when my mom passed, she had this serene, very peaceful look on her face. She suffered a lot, and she was ready. Mm-hmm. So, the first hour of the funeral home, you have the first hour. The family goes in first. You get the first hour. So I go, and I'm looking, and I'm like, I kind of look at it, and I have this opinion. And I didn't say anything, because I didn't want to be the one to say it. So we get in line, and my brother, Tino, is next to me, and he leans over and he goes, is it just me? But does Mom look pissed off? I'm like, oh, yes. Oh my God. I thought I was on it. Did you see it too? He goes, she is pissed off. Look, she looks like she is pissed off. I'm like, I know, right? She did not want this. Now it's coming out in her face at the funeral home. We oh my God. It was crazy. So that's why my dad is in trouble.
And he thinks that she follows him to the restaurant and home now?
Yeah.
What are some of the things she do to show him her displeasure?
I think not letting him sleep, because he sleeps a lot. That's why she tugs on him and pulls on him and things like that. Yeah.
Hey, stupido, get up.
Yeah. And Tino, stop eating. No, Tino, this and Tino, that. Yeah.
I love that.
That's incredible.
That's echoing in his mind.
Thank you for sharing all that. The ghost stuff is great. I've had chills 4 to 5 different times. But you're still a businesswoman, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of that is what we talk about on here as well. So Casa Rodriguez has been around since 1981. Mm-hmm. What does that mean to you to carry on that legacy as a Latino business owner?
Well, I'm a Latina.
Latina, buddy.
Sorry.
I'm a Latina.
You're getting an F in Spanish.
Yeah.
D-.
Okay, yeah, D-.
We'll pass him. He showed up.
Latina, I apologize. I read it incorrectly.
Well, here's the thing about, growing up in Mercer County, because I was born and raised here. Celina schools, Immaculate Conception. I went up to the 8th grade, And so this was my community. So I only felt different when people made me feel different. Mm-hmm. And there were not many people like that. I mean, more of them came out later in my life in the last 20 years.
Sure.
Okay. And so being a part of a community, for the state of Ohio, it's like a $2 billion industry of Latino-owned businesses. I mean, we're just a part of a community. We want to own a business. We want to employ people. When my mom and dad started the restaurant and having those conversations with them, they said the same thing. Look, we wanted to have a place where people could get good food, good Mexican food, good service, and feel welcomed. You come here, you can stay as long as you want.
Even after life.
Yes.
Even after life, Bill.
Just hang around.
That was good. Yeah,
I like that one, Bill. That was good. We'll clip that.
That makes up for me messing up the Latina part.
That's good. You called her a man and then immediately backtrack. Good job.
Yeah, so for the most part, I mean, it's a pride thing, to carry on my mom, because this is my mom's legacy. This is something she always wanted.
Do you feel thrust into that? Like, I know that's her legacy and family's obviously been important, but it sounds like you have a lot of other aspirations. You're a teacher, you're an educator, you're trying to be a leader in the community, you are trying to do your own things. Fair or unfair, do you feel like, not that this is a burden in any kind of capacity, I'm not saying that, but like, what does that feel like?
Yeah, it was expected.
How does that feel?
It's hard for me because I want to balance that along with my real desires of being politically active or helping nonprofits, or being, working with nonprofits or organizations that help other people. I mean, no matter what we do, we're in the people business. No matter what your job is, it's about people. And, my mom, she would take these 3 fingers, man. She'd be like, whenever she wanted to make her point, she'd go like this.
My dad got me right here.
Right.
2.
She said, we are put on this earth to help people, period.
I love that.
I agree with it, though. It's the same.
Yeah, she said, that's why you're here. You got to help people. And that was our expectation. And, we do the best that we can and when we can to help people, with funerals and donating and things like that. We continue to do that because that's what is expected of us. And not because we don't want, and I'm not saying we don't want to, but that's just who we are.
Yeah, we just talk about that a lot, about the kids taking over the business long after Bill and I want to retire. And, our approach is probably a little bit more modern, I think, now hearing that. Like, if they want to play ball, right? If you don't want to play and be in the food truck business, the food industry, or carrying a legacy, it's okay. You know what I mean? And that's the expectation, though, to round this out and have a little bit of the sensationalism like that bring, is that I do expect you to take care of community, though. You see what I'm saying? The mother's expectation of saying we are here to serve, I'm wholeheartedly agreeing. Saying we're here to serve and then sort of cubing you or boxing you into this, like, you can only serve through my restaurant dream, that's where I was kind of questioning, like, how does that feel?
And to be fair, my mom, she did say this. So this is the difference between my mom and dad. So my mom's like, when she dies, she said, I want the restaurant to be over. I want it to be done. Okay. And she said, because it was mine. And it's almost like she didn't want it to be anybody else. And my sister and I talk about it because my sister and I are the ones we, kind of run the restaurant. Well, we do run the restaurant. And it's not hers now. It was everybody now. I mean, ever since I started getting more active with the restaurant, that's what people associate. Casa Rodriguez was Sophia Rodriguez, not Nacha Rodriguez. So I try to make sure to say, look, my mom started this restaurant, and I wouldn't be here if it weren't for my mom.
I'm just going to say it now. I think it's not 10 people in your restaurant. It's just the strength of 10 people in your mom who's pissed at your dad for not cremating her and for not closing the restaurant. I'm seeing a theme here.
Yeah, she's so mad right now.
She's just chucking stuff around. Sophia, you're not doing this and doing this. Her fingers are flying at the thing. And I'm going to let you know.
Yeah.
I had a funny thought, but what if one thing we like to do is empower young business owners or young people that want to be entrepreneurs. What advice would you give to any young Latina who wants to? Or even,
I'm going to inject. One of the things I heard was that they just want to be a part of the community, man. So regardless of being a Latina, what would you? I guess finish that with like. Just
I was going to say with because I'm a big advocate of just women business owners. I think they bring a lot to the table. I know it was a lot harder for women for a long time, but I think it's starting to flatten out a little bit. What advice would you give to anybody, maybe it's a young Latina or anybody in general that wants to start, a business or a nonprofit or just do good in society? You've done it through a lot of different avenues. We're trying to do it. What would your advice be to them?
Well, being in public education is a very powerful tool to project that message. And I feel that as a public educator, I've done that with my students because when we talk about culture, especially for the higher ed, like Spanish 4 and 3, we talk about expectations of cultural beliefs and systems. Every culture has a family. Every family has expectations. Now it comes down to you. What do you want to do? What do you want to be? And where do you want to go? Because I know there's a lot of pressure on you because I was there too. I was expected to get married, to have kids, and work at that restaurant. That was the expectation.
Not to own it.
But not to own it, right. Work for my mother,
Yeah.
right? And not go to school, right? I wasn't supposed to go to college. And when I wanted to go to college, my mom was like, oh, no. But my father knew that in order to get out of a system like that, you had to go into education. So he supported it. But my mom was like, no, because I'm telling her what to do.
Why did you come back? You have such big career aspirations. You had an out. You see what I'm saying? Your dad gave you the out, okay? You left, and you got to experience a lot of other things that maybe this county, I love this county. I think it's amazing for those listening. But there are experiences outside of it. We can have the wherewithal that there are different cultures and different communities and different races and different socioeconomics and different all things happening outside this county. My question to you, the $1 million question is, what brought you back?
Family. I mean, I came back. I was only working part-time when I moved to Columbus and had like 3 jobs. Oh my God, I was killing myself. And an opportunity came to teach at Miss Sinawa Valley, and work part-time at the restaurant was just, what I was expected to do. And I did, but I love, I don't want people to feel like I was forced into the position because I willingly walked in.
Sure.
But I love talking to the people. I love our employees. I love the opportunities that we create as a business and how we can support community, how we support, Kate, one of her friends' mother passed away and her husband come in. He goes, hey, I want to buy a crock pot, so-and-so. And I'm like, you know what? Just, no, here, we'll give it to you. Death is, shouldn't have to worry about that. You know what I mean? Like, worry about pain. I mean, like, we'll help you with that. We've done that with so many different people,
Were your parents like that too?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So this is something that's gone through.
Yeah.
This is the real lineage of you.
Mm-hmm.
Your identity is built selflessness and taking care of people.
Yeah.
What a blessing to have that in the community. Truthfully, I'm so glad you get to tell this story because that's what Casa Rodriguez embodies. Beyond all the chatter that we had about the fun stories about ghosts, underneath the surface, it's a very beautiful thing, right? It's something, Bill. I mean, you and I say it every day. It's about the people. A lot of what you've said, we often have entrepreneurs on here like yourself to one, learn, and 2, to reaffirm. And so, a lot of the things that you had said today makes me feel really good because it is, yesterday we gave away $4,000 worth of food. I got that donation. The first thing I said as I got on the announcement, everybody eats today. Whatever you want, take it. That's not just it's a luxury, but it's also an opportunity to feed, to give. We are so quick to give away free sandwich. Hey, can I get a pop? $2? Just take it, man. Like, if you need to water your sweat, just take it, man. It's cool. Like, I get it. It's that separation, and really hearing this today, I'm very moved, not just by our ghosts and spirits conversation, but because we're doing things right, Bill. I mean, we're really doing something right, and to mirror someone or a restaurant that's been open since 1981. I mean, we're in year 2. We're approaching year 50. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to me, it's very special to hear that. And I really appreciate you being able to share that.
Yeah, thank you to you and your family for a long legacy of, just community and involvement. And, those things don't go unnoticed in the community. And I think you see the visitors and the family members, even the non-family members that come in that shows that your family have done things the right way for a long time.
Yeah. I tell people, I said, this place, it's seen everything. It's seen proposals. It's seen announcements of birth and celebrations of birthdays and funeral dinners, planning, We have a back room, and a lot of people will use that back room to organize funerals, with the meal or what have you. But that's just how we help community members, give them, I don't want to say a platform, but give them a location that, one of the great stories, we had a customer, regular customer, her and her husband come in all the time, or fiance at the time, they were going to get married, and they were going to get married on a Saturday. The Friday before the wedding, the groom's father passes away, and they're not from here. And she calls us Friday, I think late Friday, because then the relatives they're planning to leave Sunday, and they want to have a meal for them yet. And a lot of them are leaving early. Can we come in like at 9, even though we don't open till 11? We're like, absolutely, we'll have everything ready for you. Because that customer, that family has value. And I think sometimes we miss that point. Like people, they have value. They have emotions. They have things that we need. Damn, this is getting serious.
I love it.
Keep going.
Chills.
Don't stop.
Yeah, so it's something that I think some people miss, that every human being has a value. But sometimes that own human being doesn't know what that value is yet. And if we can be there to model that, to support that, to help them in any way, like as a public educator, I think for me, when I see kids and they're struggling and I start talking to them, they're like, "You're talking to me?" I'm like, "Well, heck yeah, what's up?"
It's a
You
model.
got to see them. They want someone to see them. And as an educator, I think I did very well at seeing those students that need to be seen.
I think you do a good job from the entrepreneur side too. Mm-hmm. I think it's a luxury to be able to serve your community. It's even better when you can go a little bit deeper, when you can see those customers that might need a little extra, or a child that needs a little bit extra. That embodies what Two Dads is about. And I'm glad to hear it embodies what Casa Rodriguez is about. But I've got something for you. Every week we play a game show.
All right.
Every week.
Oh, no. You
new-
didn't tell me about this.
This is a side curveball for those that are listening. This is our game show. Sophia, would you like to play?
Absolutely.
It's a rapid fire game. It's very
Woo!
easy.
Okay.
This game show segment is called Ghost It or Toast It. In this episode's haunted game show finale, we put Sophia Rodriguez to the test with
I'm ready.
Ghost It or Toast It, the paranormal party, where every scenario is either something you'd welcome into your restaurant, like a friendly ghost, or something you'd banish forever, like a bucket of holy water and a side of chips and queso.
Ghosted. Am I understanding that right?
Ghost It or Toast It. I'll offer you two options, okay? From tipping spirits or a haunted margarita. But if you ghost it, you want it in your restaurant. If it's toasted, you want it out of here.
Okay, I got it.
You got it. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Bring it
All
on.
right. Number one. Bill, I'll invite you too, buddy.
I gotta play this
I like when
week.
Bill's there. I like when Bill's there
It's
too.
about every other week. He doesn't always let me play.
I know.
Ooh, you got lucky
This
today.
is
Hey, here we
special.
go.
All right. Rapid fire. No thinking. First thing that comes to your mind, okay? A full ghost sighting, but it tips 20% every time. Ghost it or toasted.
Ghosted. Yeah.
Okay. Customers leave Ouija boards at the hostess stand.
Toasted.
Cold spots in the kitchen that save you money on refrigeration.
Toasted.
A ghost who only communicates by knocking over salt shakers.
Toasted.
Toasted.
Paranormal activity, but only during lunch rush.
I would say ghosted.
Yeah, that's a
Ghosted.
good
That's an
opportunity.
opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
Local teens doing ghost tours in the parking lot.
Toasted.
Toasted.
A haunted margarita machine that makes drinks with extra spirit.
Ghosted. Let me have one.
Ghosted. Yeah.
Customers claim they were slapped by a ghost, but still leave a 5-star review.
Ghosted.
Ooh, ghosted.
I like that little
Yeah.
foreplay there, I guess. A shadowy figure in the security footage wearing a Casa Rodriguez t-shirt.
Ghosted. Love to see that.
Ghosted.
And a ghost that helps you cash out the register perfectly every night.
Ghosted.
And that's all the time we have for the Two Dads podcast. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Sophia, for coming on. Another wonderful episode. We'll see you next week. Slick Willie, anything before we go?
No, just go check out Casa Rodriguez in business hours. Don't be poking around afterwards trying to find any ghosts.
And here's what I'd say. If you're married, do right by your wife. If she wants cremated, cremate. If she wants the restaurant closed, close it down. Sophia, thank you so much for being here.
Thank
you
you.
very
It was
much.
an honor.